What's up, everybody? What's going on? I tell you what, seconds right when I hit live, I see that we are not live on Twitter today. StreamYard, we got to get it together. We got to get together, StreamYard. But it makes sense because the number of people streaming is dramatically increased right now, dramatically increased. And ultimately, it doesn't matter because I see Facebook, I see LinkedIn, I see YouTube, and I'll make sure that I reshare this out on Twitter. Let me tell you what, I am incredibly excited today. Incredibly excited. I see my man Alan Ramsey saying what's up. I see my sis Linda. Can I say this? Can I say this right here? I see Linda. Linda was in the chat a couple minutes early. I saw you, Linda, about 3 minutes early, talking about she was excited. Anytime I see that, that gets me excited. So thank you very much. I see Tisha. I see Kira saying we're ready. I see Denise saying we're ready. I see my sis, Kim. Oh my goodness, look at this. I see my sister-in-law, Carolyn Cobbs, right there. I see everybody. And I have to go to LinkedIn real quick. LinkedIn. LaShonda Bracey, I see you. Luis Rosado, what's up, fam? Naomi Garrick, that's what I'm talking about, from Jamaica. Today is going to be special. Today is going to be, I'm just telling you right now, today is going to be special. There's a lot of information that I want to share today, but you know how we started off. What are we watching? Better with Paul, guys. Better with Paul. Fridays and Mondays, we go live 12 p.m. until these lockdowns are over in most countries. And I will say this, on Friday, we had a phenomenal session on Friday, like phenomenal session. And the moment that I got off of the session, I went and I looked at a lot of comments that were coming from another video that I posted on multiple streams of income. So I posted this video on, where was it? I think it was on LinkedIn, and it was on, I think it was LinkedIn actually, and Instagram, right? And I was like, look, I believe we all need to have multiple streams of income, and here's the reason why, right? And a lot of feedback, but a lot of the inbox messages from that video were basically people saying, Paul, how do we do it? Like, how do we create new streams of revenue, especially in a recession? Like, how do we do it? And so I thought to myself, all right, let me do another video. So I was going to do another video and put up, and immediately I thought about 5 different revenue streams. So I thought, okay, let me put up a video on 5, income streams that you can get right now. But then as I was thinking about the 5, I thought, no, actually, I think it could be about 7. No, then I thought, no, it could be about 10, right? So then I said, let me do a video on 10. And I thought, no, a video on 10, for Instagram, it might be too long. So what I'll do is I'll just do like a special 10-minute video on streams of income and different streams of income. And then I thought, okay, maybe there's like 25. No. Maybe there's about 30. So then as we got into the weekend, I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to come on to Mentor Monday, and I'm going to talk about the 40 streams of income, right? 40 streams of income. So I said, I always ask Jill, my wife, what do you think about this? Jill said, yeah, this is a good topic, but are there 40 streams? I said, yeah, I mean, there's at least 40 streams. So I started writing down the streams. Why did I get to 50 streams of income? And as I continued, right? So by Saturday, Sunday, I said, okay, we're going to do this session on 50 streams of income. I then create the holder for this. I said, okay, we're going to talk about 50 streams of income. Do you know that I basically stayed up? Well, I said, did you know? Why do people do that? Did you know? Of course you don't know this because you weren't living here with me. But let me tell you, I stayed up all night last night. All night. Stayed up until 5. It was about 5:40 in the morning here in London. And I was taking down notes of every stream of income that I have generated over the last 10 years, plus every stream of income that I know friends are using. And I'm not talking about like trying to hustle people out of their money. I'm talking about streams of income where they are generating hundreds or thousands or hundreds of thousands, or for some folks over $1 million a year, right? By 5:40 a.m., I realized that my list was actually 56. So today, we're not talking about 50 ways. We're talking about 56 ways to generate new streams of income. Now, there's so much information I've got to get out to you. 56. We're going to cover all 56 today. 56. There's so many that we are not going to do Tribe today. And I'm sorry, because Tribe, Better with Paul Tribe was something that I know that we were having a good time with. We will do that next week, but I don't want to bring anyone on because I'm just teacher mode today. I'm just hardcore. My man OC's like, let's go. Pat Perkins is like, boom, 56. Like, I'm just teacher mode today, right? I'm just, let's get that money today. That's who I am today. So we're focused, all right? Now, are you ready? I just want to know real quick if you're ready for what we're about to talk about. Now, 3 things before we start, and then we're just going right into it, okay? 3 things. The first is this. Please, everyone, take a moment, share this video right now. Now, I normally never ask for a video to be shared, and I think it's something that I'm dealing with psychologically, because I know that when so many people ask, oh, share this or put this in the comments, really what they're trying to do is they're trying to build up their brand, right? But then I thought about this. Today is special, right? There are people, the vast majority of us, right, who have lost income completely or partially, and we need more income. Today, we're covering it all. 56 ways, right? 56 ways. There will be people, the majority of the people who are in your community, who follow you, who need this video. Literally, this could save their life. So I thought about this ahead of time. I thought, no. This is one that we share, okay? So please, everyone, take a moment and share it. All right, take a moment and share. That's one. Number 2 is we're going to keep building as a community. And this is what we're going to do. I'm going to go through all 50 streams of income, okay? I would say 90% of these streams of income I currently generate money from, or I have generated money from. So I have firsthand experience. If I have firsthand experience, I'm going to tell you, and I want to break it down a little bit for you so you can really know how to create it. Now, this is, you know, I can't give you all the detail. We just don't have enough time. You know, each one of these could be an hour or two. Each one of the 56 could be 1 or 2 hours, right? So therefore, I know there are people watching on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, who you have experience with some of these revenue lines. You've done it. You're generating revenue with some of these revenue lines. So if you are, here's how we're going to build together. If I say, like, for example, I'll tell you right now, revenue 55, income line 55 is going to be peer-to-peer lending, right? I can't wait to talk about peer-to-peer lending, right? If I just said, you know, number 55 is peer-to-peer lending, if you have experience in that line of income, I want you to write in the comments, I have experience with, and put the number 55 peer-to-peer lending, right? So this is number 55, but you say, I have experience with this. What does this mean? What this means is that everybody who's watching, right, on LinkedIn, everybody who's watching on YouTube, everyone who's watching on Facebook, what this means is that you will signal to everyone, I have experience with this. And therefore, if you are watching the comments and you say, no, wow, I want to learn more about that. I want to learn more about number 55. Then you enter this, right? So if I were writing down, I have experience with number 55, you would see me and you say, at Paul C. Brunson, let's connect on number 55, right? This is a way that we're going to build. There will be lots of revenue lines here, or should I say income lines, that you have no experience with, but you want to gain more experience. And there are people right now in our community who have that experience. So I want you to connect, okay? This is what I want you to do. If you have experience in any of those numbers, It doesn't have to be number 55. It could be number 1. It could be number 5. It could be number 7, right? If you have experience in it as I'm talking about it, you write in the comments, I have experience. And you say what the income line is. And then if you are watching the comments and you want to learn more about number 5 or number 7 or number 8, you could now go into the comments and connect. And this will work for the replay as well. All right. So that's number 2 before we get started. Any questions on that? Any questions on that? My sis Lauren is saying she agrees. Nicola is like she likes it. My sis Claudia is she loves it. All right, this is good. This is good. All right, this is good. This is good. All right, this is how we build together. Here's the last thing before we get started. The last thing before we get started is this. There's a lot of information that I'm going to throw at you very quickly. Boom, 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 boom. And I have to be on time today because I'm doing a talk for the Jamaican U.S. Embassy today in exactly an hour and 15 minutes. So I've got to be done with an hour and 15 minutes. You can't mess around, right, with the Jamaican Embassy. So what I'm going to do is, if you want, come to right here, my website. I've set it up so that you can enter your email address. You could jump onto what is now going to start, and that's the Better with Paul newsletter. And I will give you the full PowerPoint, and maybe I'll even add in some notes for you as well. So if you want to get everything today, make sure you take your notes, but you could also go to paulcbrunson.com/better, enter in your name, email address, and boom, I'll send you out the presentation. All right. Questions before we get going, because it's about to get here. You know what? I got to shout out my man Mike Street, by the way. It's always dope when you see one of your mentors checking you out. This is one of my mentors right here, my man Mike Street. I call him the Yoda of digital marketing and digital media. That's my man Mike. Mike, it's good to see you. Good to see you. Now I'm stressed because Mike is watching me. All right. Now, questions before we go. All right. It says, no. All right, let's go. We're excited. All right. Get ready. Put your seatbelt on. Let's talk about not 50. Let's talk about 56 ways to get that money. That's really what this is about. All right. So now let's go right here to the presentation. There will be a presentation today, ladies and gentlemen. 56 ways to create new sources of income. Here's what I've done. All right. I've broken this out a little bit. So there are 4 sections here. Okay. 4 sections. The first section is basically, if you have no money right now to invest, you have no real skill that you feel you have, and you literally need to make money today. Like, no joke, you need income today. I have a whole section on things you could do today to start making money. All right. Section number 2 is if you have a little bit of skill, right? And what you want to do is you want to generate income, but you really want to build out your experience, right? You want a community build. That's what section number 2 is going to be about. Section number 3 is if you're already an established professional, you're working already in a corporate job, maybe you're working on your thought leadership, you already have a business that's running, maybe you're an entrepreneur, but you realize you need multiple streams of income. Okay. So what do? That section is all about you. And I have a special bonus section in there for people who want to generate money from content, right? Because there's a lot of money to be made from content going forward in this new COVID economy. And then section number 5, the last one, is if you have a little bit of money, right? And I'm not saying 500 is a little bit, 500 is a lot of money, but what I'm saying is if you have up to $500, how can you make that grow, right? How can you stretch that? So we have a whole section right there for people who have a little bit of money and want to generate more income. All right. So this is the thing. Oh, wow. My phone notifications are blowing up with everybody joining the mail list right now. I won't be able to see now on my phone. I should have worked that out. All right. So let's get going. Let's get going. All right. First section, no money, skill required. What do we look at me? Look at me. I'm like, I can't wait. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right, let's go. Let's go. Number one, right here. Now, this is one of the few that I have no experience with, but I got hip to this from one of my friends. And he literally makes, he told me he makes between $500 and $800 per month, going about 5 hours a day on these pay to click sites. So what's this? These are sites, like, actually, let me zoom in here. These are sites like Swag Bucks, sites like Inbox Dollars, or if you're in the UK, Inbox Pounds, right? QMe. Basically, these are sites that you go to and you can complete online surveys. You can surf the site, right, and get paid to surf the site because the site's actually paying for the traffic. This is something where if you have no skill and you need some money today, you could sign up today and literally start making some money, right? My friend right here says he makes up to $800 per month, 5 hours a day is what he spends. All right. So those are pay to click sites, or called PTC sites, right? Swag Bucks, once again, QMe, Inbox Dollars, or Inbox Pounds. These were the most reputable that I found. All right. Number two source of income, online user testing. Now, I actually have experience with this, but I've been on the side of going to this site. So user testing is one of the sites that I like, usertesting.com. And what the beauty here is that I have been the buyer, right? Where I go to the site and I have a website that I want tested. I want to see if there's any bugs on the website. I have an app that I'm developing. I want to see if there's any bugs in the app. You go to user testing, and user testing goes out and they hire people. They can hire you, and they'll pay you maybe roughly about $10 per hour, and you will test the site or test the apps for these other folks. It's great. It's a great win. You can sign up today. You need no skill. All you need is your computer. Boom. And you could get going. All right. You can get going. I see people in the comments saying that they've tested before. Kim is saying that she used it as a buyer. Tanisha said, I've done this too, right? There's some folks who said they've done this. So remember, if you've done it, Jerry's like, oh, wow. Jerry wants in. Jerry said, that's good money. I want in on that one, right? If you have used it, oh man, I got to shout out my brother Obsidian right here. I haven't seen him in a long time. All right, let me get focused. But what's up? What's up, man? So remember, if you have experience in number two with online user testing, put that in number two, or I have experience, number two, online user testing. That way people can see you and they can connect to get more information about that. All right. So, all right, G's asking some questions. I'm going to try to keep spinning through, but if I see lots of questions pop up on something, I'll stop. But G said, how are your earnings and your experience? Oh, maybe he's asking somebody else. Yeah. So, because I've only used this one as a buyer, but I will say that I've read about 3 different articles where people were making roughly $10 an hour. And I know as a buyer, I was spending about $20, $25 an hour. So that makes sense that they were doing that. JP Justice says she's signing up right now. All right. Income source number 3. Now this one, my wife loved, right? You could sell your photos and you could sell your videos. So think about all those photos that are in your iPhone right now, all those photos that are in your desktop right now. You could be making money from those photos, and not just the photos, but you could make money from the videos. Now, my advice here, once again, I've been on the buying side of this, right? I've been on the buying side, but my advice is the first place to go to is to sell on your website. So if you think you want to make an actual business of this, so you actually have lots of photographs, you consider them to be high quality photographs, you have videos, you consider them to be high quality, I say get a WordPress theme and set this up on your website, start making money today. But If you just have one-offs that you want to sell, go right here. My favorite is Adobe, and the website address is contributor.stock.adobe.com, right? Contributor.stock.adobe.com, right? And Jug is like, what? Sell my photos. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. You could sell your photos. My sis Pat was like, you can sell your photos and video. The beauty is that a site like Adobe, what happens is Adobe has millions of people already buying. So this is almost like passive income. So it works where you upload your photos, and then and you set your price for your photos or your content. If people are interested, then they come buy it. So once again, contributor, this is it, contributor.stock.adobe.com. All right, that's number 3. Number 4, now we're starting to get into bigger money, okay? Now we're starting to talk about negotiating referrals. Now, this is what I mean by negotiating referrals. I've personally had a lot of experience with this. I have quite honestly made 6-figure plus income on negotiating referrals. I did this a lot in my early day, when I say, about maybe 10 years ago, 8 years ago. I don't do this anymore. I do it for free now, but this is the bottom line, right? 85% of small business owners prefer word of mouth. It's just the bottom line. We prefer it. But most small businesses don't have referral programs. They have affiliate programs, but they don't have referral programs. So what I encourage you to do, and this is very important today, is think about the people who are in your audience, maybe the people who follow you, maybe people that you just know, and think about their pain points, right? We're going to talk a lot about avatars. I like to talk about customer avatars, but think about their pain points. And then you think about existing service providers who may be able to solve for them. For example, I'll give you an example. Right now, I have a significant number of people who come to me who are in need of therapy. They're in need of therapy. Actually, I think everybody's in need of therapy, but they're in need of therapy. Almost every therapist I know doesn't have a serious referral program. So I could just simply go to my friends who are therapists and say, hey, you know what? Why don't we work this out? If I refer someone to you, you give me 20% of their fee, right? The therapist would love it, right? The buyer's going to love that. Referral fees. I did it all the time in the matchmaking business, and I would charge a 20% referral fee, which wasn't bad on services that were costing $1,000 or $5,000 or $10,000. So my point here is you can negotiate referrals, and I suggest that you charge anywhere from 15 to 25% on referrals. All right. So this is referrals. All right. All right. Look at this. Ann says she has a referral program. That's what I'm talking about. All right. If you have experience negotiating referrals, include that, right? Include that. I see a lot of people on LinkedIn right now saying, does anyone have experience with number 4 with referrals? So this is a big question. If you have experience, make sure you list that, because a lot of people are interested in more on number 4. All right. Next one, number 5, freelancing or micro freelancing. Now, this is interesting. The website right here that I recommend is called clickworker.com. Clickworker.com. You can make between $9 and $10 an hour. What is micro freelancing versus freelancing? Typically, freelancing is you have an existing skill, right? You are a virtual assistant. You are a WordPress developer, right? You have an existing skill that you're selling. When you are micro freelancing, it's more of a basic. It's like, it's more like, could you participate in a focus group, right? So what you do with this site is you go to clickworker.com, you enter in the different skills that you have, or the different interest areas that you have. And what they'll do is they'll pay you to do these small tasks, right? So for example, it could be the focus group. We're arranging a focus group of Black men who are between the ages of 35 and 40 who live in North America, and you need to be able to answer 10 questions, right? That's a micro task. This is what Clickworker does. I believe that with the freelancing economy growing, we're going to see micro freelancing becoming even more popular, right? So this is a Clickworker. I have lots of friends who have used Clickworker before and they loved it. All right. So that's Clickworker. That's number 5 is micro freelancing. So now we're moving into some skill required. All right. So remember that first section, that was if you have no skill, you have no skill. So let's go back real quick, right? Let's go back. You have no money, no skill. Number 1, you have pay-to-click sites. You could join today, make money today. Online user testing, join today, make money today. Sell your photos and videos, right? Negotiate referrals and micro freelancing. Now, let's go into some skill is required. Some skill is required, but this is a great way to increase your experience. Freelancing. All right. We just talked about micro freelancing, but we are living in a freelancing economy. I shared some data on the last session where we're looking towards anywhere upwards to 70 to 75% of the world by 2023 is going to be freelancing. There are thousands of freelancing sites. Actually, let me speak to you real quick on this because this is important. All right. There are thousands of freelancing sites, thousands, right? I currently use Upwork and I currently use Fiverr. So those are 2 that I use. I have some beef with a little bit of beef, but ultimately they do a decent job. You sign up as a freelancer, they basically take 20% of everything that you make. And the good thing is they promote you to their audience. So for example, I've gone there for a web developer before. I've gone there for an admin before. I've gone there, for a designer before, right? It works. It works. But let me give you some what I consider to be pro tips. Okay, some pro tips. One way or one reason why I like this is if you are new to an industry and you're trying to learn more about an industry, this is a great way to begin to learn more and to hone your skill, get some resume. But here's where you want to be careful. If you get hired to do something within an industry that you already are a professional in, the person who's buying your services could look at that as you are actually, you're a spy, right? And that's not good. Secondly, is a lot of companies require you to sign what's called an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. You want to be careful because if you are working in a particular industry and you are freelancing in that industry and you sign an NDA, that means you could legally, you can't do your other work. So I just say, be very careful when you are using the freelancing sites, but it's a great way to earn some quick money. And if anyone has experience as a freelancer, please write that down. I see Derek Daniels on LinkedIn saying he loves Fiverr. I see Daphne Lattimore says, IT does work. I have hired freelancers from Upwork. Yeah, it definitely can work. Just be careful. All right, be careful. All right, let's get back into it. That was number 6. Number 7, you could become an online tutor. Now, I like this. Classgap.com is the site that I know a lot of people have gone to. When I say online tutor, I'm talking about one-on-one private tutoring for mostly high school students or elementary school students. I'm not really talking about the college level right here. And the reason why I like this is because if you've graduated from high school level or college level, you could qualify to teach. You could make between $15 and $50 an hour. And think about it. The number of kids who are at home who are now enrolling, or should I say their parents are enrolling in private tutoring and private instruction is going through the roof. Because parents are like, I can't do this teaching. This is crazy, right? It's going through the roof. And you think about the summer, how many kids will be enrolled in the summer. So this ClassGap, I think this is great. This is a great way to expand on your skill. Let's say that you know that you want to increase your public speaking. You could teach public speaking, right? Let's say that you realize you need to learn how to code and you've been taking coding classes at home, which by the way, you can. My son Kingston is now learning HTML and JavaScript. and he's really good. And he's using an online program for it. But the bottom line is that if you were like my son, right, and you're learning a little bit of HTML, what better way to perfect it than to go out and teach it through something like ClassGap? So I definitely recommend teaching online tutoring. All right, online tutoring. Next up is becoming a university lecturer. Universities right now are desperately looking for lecturers. How do I know this? Because I am on the board of trustees for this university right here, BAU University. Global university, actually one of the biggest educational institutions in the world. And I can tell you, we're looking for lecturers. And the beauty is that we're looking for non-traditional lecturers, people who have experience in their field. So if you have 5, 10, 15 years experience, think about becoming an online lecturer, right? You get some prestige. You also get to meet lots of talented kids who can then help you with your projects. And then at the same time, you get paid. So now, let me say this. If anyone is interested in applying to become a lecturer at BAU, let me give you the address. And all you have to, and by the way, this is not a referral. I'm not getting paid for this. This is my university, right? I'm on the board of trustees. I co-founded this school, right? And we're always looking for lecturers, good lecturers. Go to info@bau.edu, info@bau.edu, and just enter in there, hey, I want to teach, right? We have one of the largest, actually, we have the largest MBA program in Washington, D.C. We have, long story short is, if you want to become a lecturer, email that today. All right, email that today. All right, how we feeling? How we feeling? I see folks saying this is awesome. There we go. There we go. All right, so now let's keep going. Let's keep going. We're only at number 9 right now. Create an online course. Oh yeah, here it is right here. That's it. info@bau.edu. Okay, so now next up is creating an online course. I have done this plenty of times, and I will say that if you create an online course, sometimes people spend between 4 hours to 500 hours creating an online course. I have done online courses before. I've hosted it on my website. You can do one quickly if you have the experience. But if your objective is not to continually create online courses, use a site like Udemy, right? Udemy.com is I think is great. I've taken courses on Udemy before. I'm sure there's a lot of people who have used Udemy as well. But if you have a skill, if you have a bit of experience, you can teach it. I promise you, there is someone in the world who is interested in what you have to say on any topic that you are passionate about. I'm talking about any topic you are passionate about, somebody's interested. And if you're passionate about it, you can create it quickly, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours, put up a quick course, see what the reception is, see if you like it, and then you can continue doing that. The online course purchases is going up. It's going up right now. So this is something that I encourage you to do. All right. I definitely encourage you to do that. Look at this. My man Saeed on LinkedIn just says, I already have 230,000 students on Udemy. Go to LinkedIn, connect with Saeed. He knows what he's talking about. He wants to help you guys. He said, let's connect and collaborate. He has 230,000 students on Udemy. In other words, Saeed's trying to tell us he's made over $1 million on Udemy. There you go, Saeed. Give it up, everybody. Give it up for my man, Saeed. Crushing it. All right. He knows about creating an online course. All right. Number 10. All right. We're starting to get into the fun stuff right here, guys. Create an ultimate guide. Create an ultimate guide. So now, if you think about, so remember, this is if you have a little bit of experience, you're starting to build your brand, you're starting to build your business. You have an avatar, right? I talk a lot about avatars. You have an avatar. Your avatar has a pain point. For example, in a lot of business owners, a lot of people watching right now, your pain point is digital marketing. right? I need help with digital marketing. One of the best things you can do is create what's called an ultimate guide. The ultimate guide is just as it sounds. It is the ultimate guide. It is thousands and thousands and thousands of characters, right? It's almost like, think of it like a mini book, right? Not quite a full book, but a mini book. And you are delving deep into a subject. Now, most people who create ultimate guides, they don't sell them. They use it as a lead magnet, right? Which is like, all right, you could download this free ultimate guide if you enter in your email address, right? So that's how most people use it. But there are many people who affix a value onto the user guide, and they give the audience the option. And I love this, right? Because I love it, because you associate a value with the ultimate guide. So you can create an ultimate guide, right? So this example, the ultimate guide to digital marketing. You can say, look, this costs $4.50. But if you could download it for free by giving me your email address and your, and your name, or you could just spend the $4.50 and you can buy it, right? A lot of people will just opt to buy it instead of downloading it, right? So therefore, you generate some income. Ultimate guides work. The other reason why I love an ultimate guide is if you are a true professional, if you are an astute entrepreneur, you need to know this information about your avatar anyway, right? So this is information that you should already be collecting. So creating an ultimate guide, if anyone has experience in that, please list that so that people can participate. My sis Erica is saying she loves it. That's what I'm saying. That's all. See, that's all I need to see. I need to see one person saying they love it, and I'll keep going. That's all I need to see. See, this is all I need to see. All right. Someone said, how many pages should an ultimate guide be? This is a great question. What I suggest, so I've downloaded tons of ultimate guides. They have been pretty lengthy, like 50, 80 pages. The key is you want to identify a pain point of your avatar, and then you want to answer it in detail. Let me give you a quick hack on an ultimate guide, right? This is a quick hack. And I did this back in the day. So let me here, come close. Let me tell you, let me whisper to the mic. The quick way around an ultimate guide is identify 3 people in your industry, 3 top people in your industry that can speak to the pain point, and then do an audio interview of them, right? 1 hour a piece, 3 hours. Then you go to a website like Scribby, right? I think it's called Scribby, because I went there back in the day, where they charge you about 10 cents per minute to transcribe audio, and get the entire audio of the 3 interviews transcribed, and then just take the 3 hours of transcribed audio, and that's basically your guide. That's it, right? But you have the key is you have to have great experts. But if you have great experts, then you're going to win. And of course, you attribute them in the ultimate guide. But that's what you do. You could do 10 experts, right? It's good. Yeah. My sis Jennifer is saying Scribe is good. Scribe is great. Kim says she's doing this right now. Kim is getting off of the stream right now to do this. All right. So now let's keep going. All right. Nicole is like, I'm doing this too. All right. Let's keep going. My man G said, dropping keys to the game. This is what it's about. Let's level up together. All right. I'm excited. Let's keep going. I've got some. Oh, I'm so excited about the rest of these guys. All right. So now, affiliate deals. I personally know bloggers. Yes, there still are bloggers, right? I know bloggers that make tens of thousands of dollars. I actually know there's one gentleman who makes between $20,000 and $30,000 just on affiliate deals. My quick advice here on affiliate deals is, and by the way, so I shot him an email, and he said that he believes that he makes between $500 and $500 per affiliate click. So that's per affiliate click where it's purchased. because there's some products that are very expensive. So an affiliate, just so we're all on the same page, is I use this example. This is StreamYard, okay? The platform that I'm using right now. StreamYard does not have an affiliate deal, but you see here, I've got a little arrow here. You can actually email them, which is what I was talking about earlier. If there's any business that you are interested in referring people to, just email them and say, hey, I want to refer people to you. Now, the difference between an affiliate deal and a referral is that the referral is a one-off, typically word of mouth. An affiliate deal is where they actually, the company creates a link for you that you can include anywhere in a blog post. You can include it on a post on Facebook. You can include it on a post on LinkedIn. And the beauty is that every time someone clicks on that link and then they buy something, you get paid. Real simple, right? Affiliate links are effortless for you to include in your content, right? Effortless. So go ahead and make sure that you get affiliate links. Now, I'm about, look at this. I'm just going to say this. Look, I'm taking everything off the screen real quick. I'm about to put y'all on some serious game on the next one. All right. This next one is one of my favorites. So let me I just had to pull in real quick to tell you. All right. Next one is one of my favorites. All right. Look at this, guys. All right. The next one, this right here, we could do a full session on. And if anyone wants to do a full session on this, let me know in the comments, because I read all the comments, and we'll do a full session on this. But do you want to hear how I made $10,000 by accident on one blog post? Does anybody want to hear that? Do you want? Let me see real quick. LinkedIn. Does anyone want to hear how I made $10,000 by accident on one blog post? All right. Okay. I see at least somebody say yes. Deja Love says yes, we do. Okay. Here's the game. This was by accident. I wrote a blog post a couple years ago on 21 books that changed my life. Okay. 21 books that changed my life. I found out about Amazon, the Amazon rewards program. So I thought, okay, if I'm going to include the 21 books, let me include a link so that you could buy each book from Amazon. So I included the link, and then maybe about 2-3, so it was an affiliate link, right? 2-3 months later, I go to Amazon and I see I'm making, about $75 a month off of this one post. And I thought, wow, this is incredible. $75 a month off of this one post. And then I look at the post and I noticed that, so the blog post, it was on my website, and I noticed people are sharing it. And the beauty is that with the post being on my website and people start sharing it, then more people see the post, more people click in, more people buy. So if we're looking at this chart, owned media is the things that you own, like your blog, your website, right? That's owned media. Then you see in the red, you see earned media. Earned is the stuff that happens because the content is good. So people start sharing the content. So people are sharing it. Now, you know how I made $10,000 on this? And this was by accident. Well, I should say almost by accident. I looked at the fact that I made $75 every month on this blog post, and it blew my mind. I'd never seen money like this off of a piece of content, right? So what I decided to do is I decided to create a Facebook ad, and the Facebook ad directed people to the blog post. Now, here is where the money came. The money came in what back in the finance day we call arbitrage, right? What happened is, and by the way, this is now paid media. I realized that to send, basically, I won't go the one by one. Basically, if I'm spending $50 per month on my Facebook ad, the amount of traffic that it's generating to the post then increases to, $1,000, $1,500, somewhere in there. So in a range between about $750 to $1,000 to $1,250, right? only spending $50. So I was like, this is really cool. This is really cool. And then quite honestly, I forgot it. I forgot it. So I forgot to turn the ad off. At the end of the year, I had, like my $600 bill from Facebook, and I looked at my Amazon account. I had over $10,000 that came only because of this blog post. This is a massive opportunity that you could take advantage of right now, because I'm telling you that the ad costs to acquire folks on Facebook in particular is lower than it used to be. This is a good time. We could do a full session on this. This is really the trifecta of digital marketing. Having owned media like the blog post, making sure it's good so that you get the earned media, then it's shared, and then you add a little bit of paid media to it. It's lovely. It's lovely. All right. So now we could talk more. Let me know if you want to. Let me know if you want to talk more about this topic, because we could do a full breakout on this. All right, but let's keep going. Let's keep going, because we're only at number 12. We're only at number 12. All right, let's speed through some of these niche research. So a lot of people, you may not know, but my old job was I was a research analyst for an investment bank, right? So I started writing research reports for an investment bank. That was my first job out of school. And I will tell you that there is a massive market for research, massive market. Now, the reason why a lot of small business entrepreneurs, right, small entrepreneurs don't talk a lot about research is because a lot of entrepreneurs don't use research. Honestly, like, think about this. I'm going to say this. I'm not trying to shade entrepreneurs, right? But think about this. You right now are watching in the middle of the day or wherever you are, right? You're watching us talk. We've been talking for 48 minutes on business. Most of your competitors don't want to invest the time to learn that, right? Now, research is your secret weapon in business. Data is your secret weapon in business. And while the majority of your competitors probably don't see it that way, I know you see it that way, and there are other people that see it that way. My point is this. My point is that you have to be an expert in your space. And if you are an expert in your space, you know what the trends are, you know what the pain points are of your customers, you know who the competitors are, you know what the competitors are doing. You can think about creating research, because there will be other entrepreneurs who want to pay to get access to that research. Now, here's the trick to it, though. The trick is that if you yourself are competing in that same market, your competitors are probably not going to want to buy your research from you. But this is one of those ideas where you no longer want to create a product or service in the industry, but you're still passionate about it, right? You still find yourself, reading reports on it. Creating research reports for small businesses or small niches is a win, right? So you could do research reports all day. All right. Next up. Oh boy. Now we're getting into a lot of people say, Paul, everyone thinks I'm from Jamaica. I'm second generation, right? I'm second generation Jamaican. All right. I'm sorry. I know I'm disappointing a lot of Jamaicans right now. I'm second generation Jamaican. But what I'm very proud of, and I don't talk a lot about, is I was born in New York. All right. New York City, the home of the hustle. There's nobody I know who was born in New York City and doesn't know how to hustle. This right here, barter straight or for a percentage of sales, is about the hustle. Let me tell you about right now how my friend right now, she just messaged me last week. Let's see. She's making, I think she made about 50 grand. 50 grand during the COVID situation. Here are the two examples. All right, here are the two examples. The first is this. You could barter straight. Right now, there are a lot of people who are just bartering for services. This is not about income when you barter for services. You make something. You may make bracelets, and that person may, make whatever. I don't know. What do they make? They're a therapist. All right. And you say, hey, I'm going to make you 5 bracelets and you give me 2 hours of therapy. Right. That's a barter. And I believe that small businesses, we need to barter much more. Much more we need to barter. This is how businesses started. Before there were forms of currency, this is what we did way, 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 way back in the day is we bartered. That was it. Now, bartering for a percentage of sales. This is the hustle, all right? Most business owners are either operators or they're great at sales. I noticed they're one of the two. They're great on, execution, or they're just great at sales, and they're typically not good at both. So this is where there's a huge barter play, right? So my friend, let me just tell you real quick her story. This was really good, right? So she knew a guy who was selling a coaching program for $2,000. So he's a coaching program. He runs a lot of YouTube videos. He sells it for $2,000. And then once a lead becomes hot, he closes 20% of the leads, right? 20% of the leads. Now, she's really good at sales. She knows he's not good at sales. So she called him. She was like, what's your close rate? And he said, oh, it's 20%. And she said, oh, I could do much better than that. And he was like, okay, word, okay. So she said, don't pay me. Hold on, let me see here. Yeah. She said, don't pay me direct. Give me 25% of every sale that I close for you. Because she knows she's good at the sale. She didn't have a product or service right now that could sell during COVID, but she knows he has a service that people are buying right now in this new COVID economy. See how you got to work together. So she bartered for a percentage of sales. Then what happens? She now increased his closure rate to 50%. She gets on the phone with them, right? A lot of people don't know about this. This is old school. Pick up the phone. Hello, 1-to-1, right? Hustle 1-to-1. She increased the closure rate to 50%. So this guy right now, he's happy to pay out $25,000. I'm sorry, I said it was $50,000. She made $25,000 during this cycle because she increased his closure rate. My point is this: she bartered for a percentage of sales. This is something that I encourage you to do. We could talk more about this, but I got to keep going because we're only on 14, and I've got a lot to do in the next couple of minutes. All right, white label. This is one that's similar to bartering in essence. This actually just happened to me last week. White label, just so you know, white label is when, I wrote it down, a product or service is produced by one company that another company rebrands to make it appear as if they had done it, right? Here's where you have to be humble. And here's where you have to understand the things that you have to always know your customer. You have to always know your customer, that avatar, right? You got to know their pain point. And you have to know maybe your service or maybe your product is not fulfilling their needs right now. Maybe it's not. Maybe it used to before COVID, but because of this new, because Rona came in, right? Now your services and products maybe don't hit the need. They don't hit like they used to. So what does that mean? That means that you should think about white labeling. Now, I had a guy last week call me, and he called me about y'all. He called me about all of y'all, right? And you know what he said? He said, Paul, I've been watching these Better with Paul sessions that you do, and I have a service that I believe they all would love. And basically what he was saying is his service costs like $5,000. And he said, I want to white label it, Paul. So it's everyone thinks you're doing it, right? And I will pay you $1,000 per person. I'll take 4,000. You take 1,000. Everyone thinks it's your product or service. Let's do it. Now, quite honestly, I wasn't interested for a myriad of reasons, but the big reason is because I'm focused on another project. But the point is that I believe white labeling is something more of us need to do, because there are a lot of products and services that are working right now, especially maybe for other demographics. When I say demographics, I'm talking about for other avatars. And maybe you could just go over there, pluck that one, bring it back to you in white label. All right. White label. All right. So now let's keep going. Let's keep going, guys. Now we're getting into, if you're an established entrepreneur and professional, and I think I'm going to have to try to speed it up. I'm sorry, guys. Let me try to speed this up. All right. Remember, keep adding the connect. I see everybody's connecting, which is good. This is real quick. We talked about this in a previous Better with Paul. I just want to highlight this. I think this is very important right now, is most companies, a lot of companies, you shouldn't even be in business. So if you have an existing product or service, it might be time to sell or merge your companies. Because at the end of the day, we are stronger together. I always write that in every caption. This is the reason why I force us all to connect. We're much stronger together. Humble yourself. Think about your avatar and who you're serving. Think about your family and realize that having a percentage of a pie that's worth something is much more than owning the entire pie that's worth nothing, right? This is very important. All right, number 17. Natalie mentioned this on Friday. I thought this was really good. A lot of people are crowdsourcing right now for existing products. So this is basically, if you have a product or service idea that maybe is already in operation, or you have a product or service idea that you'd like to drop. Like a lot of people I know are thinking about a book. Like this is one actually. They're thinking about writing a book. So you basically go to these crowdsourcing platforms like Kickstarter and you say, hey, I'm interested in writing a book. It's going to be cover A, B, or C. I need to raise $10,000 in order for it to get launched. The key to crowdsourcing, though, and we could do a whole session on crowdsourcing if you want as well, but the key, because I've done it, is that you must build, and actually Natalie said this as well, you must build the audience first. You can't think you're just going to create a crowdsourcing post and people are just going to start contributing. You need to have built an audience first, all right? So that's crowdsourcing. Next is this. Next is paid writing opportunities, all right? Paid writing opportunities are actually increasing right now. My 2-year anniversary with USA Today actually just came up yesterday. Every time I write a post, every time I do a project for them, I get paid. You can get paid, I'd say for an average post, you're probably making between $300 and $1,000, depending on what the post is. If you're interested in becoming a paid writer, what I suggest you do is you identify the platform, identify the editor, and I always say go around. So don't use the traditional, well, long story short is you identify them. And let's say you want to write for, I don't know, let's say you want to write for Entrepreneur, right? You could go to entrepreneur.com and you can see how you can email them and then you get put into this long system. Screw that, right? Instead, find the editor for your section on entrepreneur.com, befriend them on LinkedIn, right? Which, by the way, I think LinkedIn is great for networking. I mean, LinkedIn is spectacular for networking. Let me tell you this real quick for LinkedIn. There's going to be I just connected today on LinkedIn with a billionaire. And you know how I connected? I just dropped him an inbox message. That was it. I just dropped him an inbox message and I said, hey, would you like to be on Better with Paul? I want to do a special billionaire roundtable. And I know a couple others, but would you like to be on? He shot me a message back. He connected. He was like, let's do it, Paul. Here's my email address. Let's connect. LinkedIn has power right now. LinkedIn has power. Now, yeah, granted, I have an audience, right? I get it. But my point is that LinkedIn is a great place to connect. So if you want to write for entrepreneur.com, I say connect with the editor on LinkedIn first, build the relationship, and then ask them directly. All right, ask them directly. All right, so now Let's keep going. That's paid opportunities. Now we're going to get into some interesting stuff here. This is interesting. You could write a book. All right. We talked about this actually last week. All right. So this is one. Write a book. We don't have to belabor this. You could write a book. Or you could write an ebook. Okay. We know that ebook sales are going way up right now. Or, dun, dun, dun. Are you ready? You ready for this? This next one blew my mind. It's so simple. I didn't think about it. I did some research this weekend and found out it's really a thing. It's so much of a thing that I think I'm going to do it. You ready? Record an audio only book. This one hit me. This one hit different, but in a good way. Let me tell you why. A lot of us just don't want to sit down and write. And a lot of us have the gift for gab and we just like to talk, right? I just like to talk, right? I just like to talk. Audio books are going through the roof right now. Audio storytelling is an art form. If you need to get out a book quickly and you don't want or have the skills to write it, do it in audio form. Do it in audio form. I love this one. See, look at this. Everyone's talking about how they love audiobooks. Do this in audio form, right? That's what I'm saying. I think I'm going to do this. I may have a book out next week. I may drop an audio book every 2 weeks doing this. I may have a freaking series. All right. So now, next up is, this is good. Let me zoom in so y'all can see these revenues. So look, you can create a podcast. You know how I feel about podcasts if you've been watching this, because I have a podcast that I haven't yet launched. But one thing I will tell you is when I research how people make money from their podcast, this is it right here. This is the top 7. So if you are going to create a podcast, know this. Know, one, it's very hard to monetize it. But if you are going to monetize it, no, this is how people are doing it: through sponsorships, through donations and crowdsourcing. We talked about crowdsourcing, through new consumers of their products or services, right? Through affiliate income. We talked about affiliate income, through paid content. We're going to talk about that in a second. Through selling branded merchandise. We'll talk about that, and selling tickets to shows. This is how people are making money off of their podcast. But you could do that. 23. Oh, you thought book tours were over? No. I'm starting to get messages of people. Look, here's the thing. We're living in a new world. But do you think that means that we're no longer going to have intimate events? Absolutely not. We will, right? We will. The big events, I believe, are over for the next several years. Big festivals, big conferences. But the beauty is for us small entrepreneurs. We can create intimate events of 20, completely flexible, completely open. They're like, oh yeah, you want this mansion? Oh yeah, whatever you want to pay, right? Like, people are open. So begin thinking about it right now. The next is this. The next is, think about monetizing it in multiple ways. So this is the book tour that I did a couple years ago, right, for my book. Let me break down, and I use these pictures. Let me break down all the ways I made money off of the book tour. All right. First off, you notice that, so it's a book tour. So it's a book tour. So I'm selling books. Secondly, I'm selling tickets to come to the event, right? It had a sponsor. I had the Oprah Winfrey Network sponsoring it. So what does that mean? That means they write a check, right? And boom, they sponsor it. So they're on the step and repeat. I also look at the location. I did my tour mostly in Bloomingdale's. Literally, they would set up a stage in an area of Bloomingdale's, and I would show up in Bloomingdale's all around the country, and I would talk. I would do my book talk, and it was actually beautiful because there were people there that were like, oh, what is this man doing in the women's lingerie section here in Bloomingdale's, right? And they'd walk in, right? I had a little fashion show going on with my book tour. And then I would bring in other sponsors. You see me holding wine? This was one of those where I had a wine sponsor come in, right? Wine sponsor come in. The point of the matter is you can't think that you're going to go on a book tour and make money only by selling the book. If you do that, you'll come off the book tour in the red. You'll be bankrupt. Instead, you need to think of multiple sources of income on the book tour. So think about that. I had a venue partner. I had partners like the wine company, right? I had overall sponsor. I was selling books. I was selling tickets, right? You have to think of multiple sources when you're doing book tours, but start thinking about the book tours now. Next up, 24, public speaking. Public speaking is going to come back. I also have a prediction. I believe that with the increase of events, online events, you're going to see quote unquote public speaking being online, where people are being paid to participate in events. I received an email last week for a conference that it was a in-person conference. They're moving. They're still paying speakers. So this is a thing. My point is, we could talk a lot about public speaking. If you want to do a full session on this, please put this in the notes, because we can do put this in comments if you want to do a full session on public speaking. I've been doing public speaking for 10 years. I will say this. I think the revenue, the money you can make from public speaking is incredible. But the bottom line to public speaking is that you have to remember that people who curate events and they want to hire you, they want to put butts in seats and keep butts in seats. That's really what an event organizer is. They want to figure out who are the people who can increase the number of butts that are in my seats, and who are the people who are going to, maybe they won't increase the number of butts in the seats, but when they're on stage, people won't walk out and leave, right? They're going to be entertaining. And so the best way to win, or should I say the best way to create a public speaking career, in my personal opinion, is not necessarily through the speakers bureaus and not through, pitching people relentlessly. It's by showing up with unmissable video content. And when you get the opportunity to be a guest on someone's podcast, when you get an opportunity, come on Better with Paul, right? When I get an opportunity, when I'm right now, next, I'm going to speak for the Jamaican embassy. When I speak for the Jamaican embassy, remember this. Remember that I am there. You are there to perform. You're there to perform. You're not there just to answer the questions. I have a friend of mine, Paul Stinnett in Jamaica, who wrote a great post this past weekend about what makes for a good guest and a nonchalant guest. And I noticed that right now there's so many interviews taking place, right? So a lot of us are being asked to be on different podcasts, and a lot of us show up and we answer the question, and we're just answering the question. You have to realize that's not what your objective is. When you get on a panel, when the lights go on, you are performing, right? Do you think you see my energy level right now? Do you think that I go back and say, "Hey Jill, what's going on? How are you?" Like, no, I'm like, "Hey Jill, hey, what's going on, Jay?" Right? That's how I talk to my boys. You have to perform. And I think that people don't realize that there is a performance element when you are on stage or when the camera's on, and when you are performing at the highest level and somebody sees, they say, "I like that. I want them," right? So we can talk more about that, but that's a quick point there. Quick point there. All right. I feel like the ambassador is going to get on this in a second and be like, "Paul, you're talking in like 15 minutes." Okay. Next up is curated events. This is my wife and I curate an event every year. We're not doing it this year, but this is us in Barbados 2 years ago. There's maybe a lot of people watching who was there. We were reading at a school in Barbados, but the bottom line here is curated events. I think now is the time to begin planning your curated events, but make sure they are just that, curated. Smaller groups, 50 and under, right? Bottom line. 26 immersion programs. This is interesting. So maybe 8 years ago, I'm sorry, more than 8 years ago, before the matchmaking business, so for my previous boss, one of the revenue lines that we had, and I will say 7-figure revenue line, 7-figure revenue line were immersion programs. I believe immersion programs will take off. I think there's a massive opportunity for an immersion program. And right before COVID hit, I was planning an immersion program. And I'm still going to do it. So what's an immersion program? An immersion program is when you identify, right, a pain point of your avatar. Remember, it always goes to that, the pain point of your avatar. And what you do is you create an experience for them to resolve that pain point, but you immerse them in the experience. So what I was planning on doing is I was going to identify entrepreneurs who don't do business in the UK, right? They have no clients in the UK, but they want to expand their products or services in the UK. I was going to bring a small group, 20, 25 of them over, bring them over, and then for 2 days, give them a London immersion experience, allow them to meet with other entrepreneurs here, allow them to meet with bankers here, allow them to meet with the regulatory body here so they can understand how to do business, give them the tour, help them, so that they can see the landscape, help them to understand how much it costs to do business, right? It's going to be 2 days, right? And of course we would get some partying in, a little bit of partying in, but the point is it was going to be a complete immersion experience, and I still might do it. I was going to do the same thing in Jamaica, right? Bring people who want to do business in Jamaica, right? And give them some oxtail. And once you get a hit of the oxtail, you're like, all right, I'll do whatever you want. But the point of the matter is immersion programs, I think, are really strong. Immersion programs are strong, especially now. Next up, masterminds. This is real simple. You could do masterminds. I've been hosting masterminds year after year after year. I haven't done one this year, but masterminds I think are great experiences. The key to a mastermind is you must know what you're talking about. There are so many lackluster masterminds. And if you don't feel like you're at the level to deliver on the mastermind, you could still host one. Just bring in somebody to facilitate. Right? Just bring in somebody. In the last mastermind that I hosted, what I did is because we had so many people, I brought in one of my really good friends, actually multiple friends, and they took different groups to host the mastermind. Because the key also to a mastermind is also doing something tight knit. We could talk more about if you guys want to host masterminds. But masterminds is definitely something. Shawnee said, and the curry goat. The curry goat, yeah. But right here, my man knows it. Oxtail changes lives. Real quick, I know I have 15 minutes, but I have to tell you this. I was a vegan. I was a vegan all the way up until I went back to Jamaica. And I landed at the S Hotel. It was the S Hotel. Landed at the S Hotel. And I got there the first night. And I was like, man, I'm hungry. It was 11 p.m. I didn't know what I was like. What am I going to eat? Callaloo? Like, I didn't know what I was going to eat. I saw oxtail on the menu. I ordered it. I have not been a vegan since. Oxtail changes lives. My man knows it. All right. So now let's keep going. All right. I got to speed now. Sorry. 4 income streams all entrepreneurs could have: coaching, consulting, advising, and pick my brain. Everybody could be doing this. The difference real quick is coaching is when a lot of people don't know the difference. Coaching is when you're asking the questions, right? You're asking your client and your client is coming up with the answer. All right. That's coaching. Consulting is when you have the answer and they're bringing you in just to say, hey, this is what you do. You do A, B, and C. That's consulting. Advising is similar to consulting, but typically it's done from a business structure standpoint. So let's say you have 4 or 5 years of business experience. You could then advise other companies, upstart companies, on how to do what they're doing, right? And normally what I've done is I've taken a percentage of equity in the company. That's simple. Then there's Pick My Brain. Pick My Brain actually works. I did this a couple years back. So what you could do is you could like line up a day. I used to line up Friday. And I used to line up Friday. If you guys remember, I used to have Mentor Fridays where you could sign up for a 20-minute session with me. And I would block out 5 hours and I would just go from session to session to session to session to session. Now, I didn't charge for mine. I was doing it just pro bono, but you could charge for yours. You could say, hey, I'll charge. Or you know what a lot of people do right now, which I mean, a lot of people should do right now, is you say, look, I'm going to give you 30 minutes of my time for free to pick my brain. You donate whatever you think is you could afford. $1, $100, right? I bet you when you do the donations, people will end up giving you roughly on an hourly basis what you would make. And you could give them a suggested. You could say, hey, I normally charge $100 an hour. I'm going to allow you to pick my brain and you can give me whatever amount you want, right? But Pick My Brain is a way to generate revenue, right? Next up is webinars and workshops. I used to host this with Ella, Weekend Startup School in DC. Shout out, I see my man G in the audience who went to Week Up Startup School. I see Kemi who went to Week Up Startup School. This is something that I've thought about bringing back as well, but you can host webinars and workshops, whether those be online or offline. Then there's membership and subscription models, right? Let me just keep going because I want to make sure that I get through the whole list, guys. But there's membership and subscription models. If anyone has experience with this, please chime in. Retainers. Retainers offer a lot of advantage to both the client and also the agency. So if you are doing something right now where you want to basically sustain your cash flow, I suggest going to a retainer model, right? A retainer model. Next up is, all right, I got to spend a second on this. This blows my mind. So I have a friend and I was asking, how much is a subscriber to an email worth? All right. And this is something that I've done a poor job with is email. I used to have actually over 100,000 people on my email list. And I went 2 or 3 years without emailing anybody. And then when I tried to email everybody off of the list, half of it was bounced back, half of it was, and my list just dwindled to now it's probably about 42,000, which I'm still appreciative of. But when I told my friend that I had 42,000 people and a fairly good open rate on the emails that I do send once a year, right? He said, Paul, you know that you could be generating anywhere from $40,000 to $100,000 per month on email. He was like, or more, right? He told me the average email subscriber is worth this 1 to 5. And then he proceeded to break down all of the different ways to generate money from an email subscriber. And my larger point here is I believe that there are 3 core assets that everybody watching needs to have. 3 core assets that everybody needs to have. You need to have an online presence, you need to have a social presence. I recommend always Facebook and LinkedIn. Just like bottom line, Facebook owns Instagram, doesn't matter, right? But you need to have a social presence. Secondly, is you must have some type of website that you own that is your home, right? That's your home. You need to have a home. And then third, you must have an email list. These are the 3 things that we must all have. Now, with email, there are a couple of ways. You could do subscriber. So I know several people, my sis, Sherelle Dorsey, my man, Dan Runcie, who does Trapital, Sherelle does The Plug. Like they have subscriber versions of their email where you pay and then they send you the email, right? Whatever it may be, $30 a month, whatever. Then there's sponsored. Sponsored is when someone comes in and they say, hey, I'll pay you X amount of dollars and I want to run, I want you to write this email was sponsored by so-and-so, right? Then there's direct ads. Direct ads are when you literally have an ad, right, in your, in the thing. And then there's the dedicated. A dedicated is when someone says, I want to send an email to your audience. You have 1,000 people, right? I want to send an email to your audience. I'm going to pay you I'm going to pay you X, right? What I suggest is this. What I suggest is that You don't ask for the money if you do a dedicated email. Instead, you ask for a percentage of whatever they're selling. You'll always make much more. And the key is that you only want to be sending a dedicated email if you believe your audience is going to, is going to love the product or service, right? So that's dedicated. Then there's classifieds. So I have a new buddy who has an industry specific email, and he does something really brilliant. What he does is he has a classified section because he covers his industry. So if people want to advertise something, if they want to advertise a job, he includes that. And then the beauty, oh my gosh, guys. You know what is crazy? We broke StreamYard again. I think we broke StreamYard again. I was going to say, I think that I may not be getting any comments from Facebook. Oh, no, hold on. Here they go. I was like, oh my God, but anyway, on that note, I'm going to do this. I know that there are 2 people from the Jamaican embassy watching right now. I'm about to do the craziest thing on live with everybody and we have there's 1,500 people watching live, but I'm going to do something crazy. To my friends at the Jamaican embassy, can you see if I could come on 15 minutes late? Let me know in the comments, please. This is crazy because I want to, this is the worst thing. This is so embarrassing. Can you see if I could come on at 6:45 my time? I think I could wrap up in 20 minutes. All right. 20 minutes. All right. Everyone's like, jump off. See if I can. And the reason why I'm asking, by the way, is because I believe the group that I'm speaking to is watching right now. Yeah. Everyone is saying, yeah, I think they're already here. Oh, hold on. All right. Yeah. Someone says, yeah, like tomorrow I'm here from the Jamaican. Yeah. See, there are folks watching from the embassy, like my sister tomorrow. So I believe they are. Okay. Yes. She says it's cool. All right. I got the thumbs up, guys. I got the thumbs up. See, this is what I was saying. This is why you have to be, because I wasn't going to mess around. If I didn't get the thumbs up, I was going to cut this thing short because I don't mess around with these commitments like that. So thank you very much. So they gave me the 15 minutes. All right. Real time. Everybody give it up for the Jamaican embassy, by the way. Everybody shout out Jamaican embassy for allowing me, right? For allowing me. Thank you very much. All right. So let's get going, guys. I got to keep going though. Let me go. So where am I? All right. Classifieds. So my friend has classifieds. So in his email, it's so smart. He charges classifieds, maybe $25 to include the classified. It's great. Then there's this. I recommend in this climate, this is the way for your email. And I rarely see people do this. Okay. This is game. When you send out your email, you tell everyone, basically, this is a service. Because obviously, if you have an email, you are coming up with unmissable content that you're delivering to your audience, and it takes time. Like I said, for me just to do this presentation, honestly, this is probably over 20 hours worth of work in a consolidated amount of time, right? If I had a little donation button, I could say, hey guys, just to be honest with you, this took 20 hours of my time, and I know you're going to make money from this. So therefore, if you feel so kind, could you donate? Hit this donation button. This works very well with emails because the people who are opening your emails are going to be your devout super fans, right? That we talked about, right? Your true fans that we talked about. So always including a donation option is a smart way. All right. So yeah, my sister's saying, big up. There you go. Big up to Jamaica. I see everybody saying big up to Jamaica. Thank you. Actually, y'all should just come to the party afterwards, to the party that we're doing at the embassy. All right. Yeah. See, Angela's like, what's your Cash App? See, I don't have a Cash App, but honestly, I'm doing this for the love. I'm not doing this to make money today. No, but I'm doing this for the love. But the idea is I want you to know how to monetize, for yourself. All right. Next up is this: brokering deals. I have a buddy who is in the UK, and I have actually I've interviewed him for the podcast that's going to come out at some point. And what I find to be fascinating is he makes nearly 100% of his revenue from deal brokering. Some of the deals are big, but a lot of them are small. And I don't think that we sometimes understand the people we're connected to, right? This is business matchmaking. I guarantee everybody watching this right now that you know someone that has a product or service, or should I say a need in their business, and you know someone else who can answer that need. I guarantee you have that. Like, and maybe it's not somebody that you talk to on a day-to-day basis. Maybe it's not someone that you're close to, but it's someone who you probably have in your LinkedIn following or your Facebook following, or it could be a friend, right? You have someone. The more methodical you could be about matching those people. My man Brandon Ray, who came on, is brilliant at doing that. Brandon Ray is brilliant at doing that. Brandon, you should jump in and say 42 you own, right? The more you could do that, the beauty is you could then just say, hey, just on like 10% of this deal. If you guys close this transaction, 10%. Here's how I like to look at it is if you can connect two people together in your network and they are going to make money together, why not share a percentage of that? Why not? Let's all make money, right? And it doesn't have to be massive. You don't have to gouge him, but why not say, hey, 10% of that? This guy that I know, he does over 6 figures by just brokering deals. Just brokering deals. All right. So that's the next one. All right. We're about to get into the intense money making right now. All right. This next section is still within you're a professional, right? But what I'm going to talk about right now is if you have a desire to monetize off of an audience, right? So if you have a desire to build a following of 5,000 or more, I honestly believe that influencers, this is my quote right here. I think influencers will have increased importance in this new COVID economy. And by the way, I'm not talking about the influencers that, let me get in my bathing suit and lay out on the beach so you can see this cleavage shot and stick my butt out. I'm not talking about that kind of influencer. I'm talking about when we talked about Kevin Kelly and 1,000 True Fans, I'm talking about the people, the influencers and thought leaders that we highly respect their opinion. Not we respect the fact that they have a large following. I'm talking about we respect their opinion. There is going to be more dollars and more opportunity thrown at those influencers than ever before. So 2 things. One is I want you to continue to figure out how you can grow your community, and we'll do more sessions on content building, that kind of thing. But let's talk about the opportunities. So there's paid live content. Do you know about this? Do you know that on a lot of platforms, including Facebook, Facebook has just launched the opportunity for a lot of influencers to now set up live content where they could say, hey, I could have said, if I wanted to, I could have said, you know what? This is not a free stream. On Facebook, this is going to cost $5, right? This is an opportunity, right? But you need to have an audience. By the way, I think the goal is you want to get to your 1,000 True Fans, but collectively across your email base, across your social media following, I honestly think the magic number right now is about 5,000. About 5,000 really engaged following. All of this stuff that I'm talking about right now, you'll be able to monetize from. So paid live content. Next is this. I love this. Tipping and gifting. Like you see a lot of people saying, hey, Paul, what's your Cash App? I didn't set this up. I intentionally did not set it up. Maybe I'll set it up in the future. But on Facebook, they've opened up what's called Facebook Stars to influencers right now, where you could buy a star and you could tip me. So as we're talking, instead of giving me a clap, right, or a thumbs up, you could give me a star, and a star costs 0.01 cent, right? So you could just be throwing stars at me, right? And I feel a little bit like a stripper in the strip club with everybody. That's why I didn't set it up. I feel a little bit like, I don't know, like everybody's throwing dollars at me. So I didn't set it up because I just felt some kind of way about it. But for my friends in Atlanta, they will be comfortable with throwing stars up. All right. But anyway, there's tipping, right? And gifting, right? Tipping and gifting. But that's the way. Then you have ad revenue share. This is real basic, right? Ad revenue share. This is Google AdSense. You basically, so what I wrote in here, 50,000 views. This is essentially what you're getting. Yeah, like, oh, my man. So let me go back to Mike, because Mike is really the OG here. He said kids on TikTok are making a lot of money from their live streams. See, it's a thing, right? It is definitely a thing. All right. So it's an LO tip. See, this is what I thought about. I was like, I don't know if I want to be tipped, right? Because if I'm drinking enough port and I'm performing, I mean, who knows what I'll do for a star? What would you do for a star? That's what I should start saying. What would you do for a star? All right. So there's ad revenue, right? Anywhere from 10 cents to 50 cents per page view is what folks are getting for ad views. There's display ads, right? Once, display ads are generating anywhere from $200 to $2,500 per display ad. I've had several companies contact me to try to get placement, for display ad, especially when I was really pushing a lot of traffic, to the website. But there's display ads. Don't forget display ads. A lot of blogs make revenue off of display ads. Even given that there's a lot of ad blockers, display ads are still a thing. Then you have sponsored blog content. This is when, and I get hit up for this a lot. This is when someone says, "Hey, I'll pay you." Like, there are people like, "Paul, I'll pay you $500 if you let me write a post and put it on your site." Here's what my suggestion is: don't let somebody else write on your site, on your blog, unless you feel like it's high quality. Instead, what I've said in the past is I've said, "Hey, you pay me $500. I'll write my own post, and I'll just say that it was sponsored by you." Right? That way I keep the quality. I was probably going to write the post anyway, and I get a chance to make some money. All right. So that's my thought there for sponsored blog content. 48. This was really interesting, guys. Check this out. Especially for my LinkedIn crew. LinkedIn, check this out. How much I went to linkanalyze.app, linkanalyze.app. And I put my name in there. And this is what they told me if I did a sponsored post on LinkedIn. This is how much people would have to pay me. Now, if you also notice, my engagement is pitiful on LinkedIn. Come on, LinkedIn, what's going on? But actually, their thing is messed up because their engagement numbers are not right. But the point of the matter is that you could get paid to post. I have done this countless times. I've been paid to post, right? So you can get paid to post. If you want to know what you believe you can get, go to this link analyze. All right, 49. You can create content for a brand, right? Content for a brand. I did a lot. I've done the last 2 years. I've done a lot of brand content. One of my favorites was doing brand content for Audi. This is 5-figure work, right? 5-figure work to go play tennis and then take a photo, right? Now, it was a lot more, right? It takes a lot. But the beauty with branded content is that I'm telling you, so this is interesting too. With Audi last year in the UK, they picked 5 people in the UK. Out of the 5 people that they picked 5 people to participate in this campaign. They gave us all Audis, right? They paid us to do a variety of things. Here's what I find to be most fascinating. Do you know that out of all of the 5, I had the biggest following? They weren't looking for a massive following. And I don't consider myself to have a massive following. I consider myself to be a micro influencer. But the average number of people, the average following for the people who participated in that campaign, that Audi campaign, remember, they all got cars, they all got five-figure plus, was 3,000 people. They had 3,000 people who followed them. What Audi was looking for, and I'm telling you, this is the future, is folks are looking for, brands are looking for people who have their, who convey their values. They convey their values. Remember the other day, I asked people, I said, what do you think? What are the things I value? Like, for example, everybody here knows I bleed for Jamaica. Everybody knows I am obsessed, right? I'm literally obsessed. If Jamaica entered a war, I would fly to Jamaica and fight. If straight up, if Jamaica and the United States entered a war against each other, and I was born in the United States, I would fly to Jamaica and I would defend Jamaica. This is just me, right? So you know this. So therefore, and I convey it passionately. So therefore, if there's someone who's looking for someone who's influencing in the Jamaican space, they may think about me. The point is that you don't need to have a massive following. You don't have to have a massive following. You need to have a following that is highly engaged and connected with the things that you value, and your values need to align with the, with the brand. All right. 50 talent fees. Okay. So talent fees. So for talent, I have been getting talent fees for 10 years. For 10 years. I've made a lot of money in talent fees. And there's 3 types of fees that you get. And what's interesting now is there's a merging right now between television and streaming content and social content. So everyone now is starting to talk about the same thing. There are appearance fees. Okay, there are appearance fees where you'll get an appearance fee. Maybe you are appearing on a live stream on a series. Maybe you're appearing on a television show, right? Maybe you're appearing, somewhere. So you get appearance fees. There are appearance fees that you get. And why do you get that appearance fee? Because they know you have an engaged audience, right? Number 2 is there's a holding fee. This is something that's not as popular today, but it was very popular a few years ago, and it's coming back, a holding fee. And I actually have been getting holding fees. Holding fees is like undercover money that a lot of people don't realize that exists. A holding fee is when a network or a production company comes to you and they're like, look, we really like you. We don't have a project for you to get in right now, but we don't want you to go to any competitor. So therefore, we're going to pay you X amount of money just to hold you, Now, you need to be, now, obviously, the bigger the network, the more money. So I've had some, well, should I say, the bigger the company, the more money, right? But long story short, there are holding fees. And then there are direct fees, right? If I'm doing a television show, right, here's a direct fee, then there's direct fees. But these will come. And I'm going to tell you what, the more you build your community, your audience, I guarantee you what's going to happen is that you're going to get more opportunities for appearance, for holding, for direct. You get to that 3,000 to 5,000 engaged group, and then you start to surpass the 5,000 group. This is going to come to you. I have a bunch of friends who I'm so proud of them. Like, little brothers, little sisters who 10 years ago, were like, Paul, I want to build up my audience. I want to do some TV stuff like you. I want to do some projects. And literally they're starting to get projects right now. And I help them with their, help them here and there with their contracts. But the point of the matter is you want to get that engaged audience, right? And grow from there. All right, let me keep going because I'm almost out of time. 51, content licensing, right? I licensed my life rights to Columbia Pictures a few years ago. But just the matchmaking portion of my life rights. I don't want to go detail into this, but I'm just saying this is an opportunity. This is a massive opportunity, right? So movies, television networks, etc. they like to source their ideas from someone in real time or from a life experience. So content licensing, I did this. It was phenomenal, right? It was phenomenal. But by the way, the movie never came. Maybe the movie will come, right? But I still got paid. It was all good. All right. Next up is producer and writer fees. I was an executive producer on this ABC show a couple years ago. This is an opportunity. I have a lot of friends, a lot of people I know that are getting a lot of good looks to write and produce TV right now. I was really proud when Lovey, got her deal. Shout out to her. There is a lot of opportunity for this. The key, I believe, to surfacing up the fact that you can do this is getting that engaged audience, right? So getting that engaged audience. So there's that. All right, let me get to this real quick. I got 3 minutes, or the Jamaican embassy is going to come hunt me down. These are sources. If you have some money to invest, let me go real quick. All right, you could buy and sell domain names. I didn't realize there was money into this until I bought. So Knowledge Share is going to be rebranded to another name. 2 weeks ago, I bought a URL for $15 that the new Knowledge Share name will be. I'm not going to unveil it yet. All right. $15. I then got a notice 2 days later that I could sell. So GoDaddy sent me a message saying that I could sell that same URL for $1,500. And when I look at the value of the URL, the value of the URL is $1,500. I could have flipped it, right? I know people who do this all the time. So there is big money in flipping domain names. All right. You can go right now, right? Right now. This right here is my new hobby, guys. Buying existing businesses, functioning websites. This is crazy. This site right here, this is my addiction right now, is Flippa. You can go to this website and you could buy, it's a marketplace. There are thousands and thousands of people who are selling businesses or online e-commerce sites for $100, for $200, for $1,000 that are already generating money, that already have traffic. And the reason why I love this is if you think about all the stuff we just talked about, affiliates, we talked about the paid media, we talked about all this. You could buy 1 or 2 sites for $100, $200 that are in your industry and just redirect all the money, all the traffic back to your site. Come on now, right? Come on now. Flippa is it. Flippa is the business. All right, 55, peer-to-peer lending. Peer-to-peer lending is something that I've done directly. So you see this lady right here? This is Dorette Houghton. She is my and my wife's business partner where? In Blue Mountain, Jamaica. She is the only woman who runs a coffee bean nursery farm in Jamaica, in the Blue Mountains. I went with my family. I visited her and I said, it looks like you need some water tanks. She said, I can't get a bank loan. I said, how much do the water tanks cost? She told me. 2 days later, I wired her enough money to buy 4 water tanks. All right. What's my deal with her? It's peer-to-peer lending. All right. I loan her money. She pays me back with a small amount of interest. And that's how we work. This is the future. Peer-to-peer lending is the future. Now, there are a lot of websites that allow you to do peer-to-peer lending. And the problem is they'll connect you with someone who you have no idea. You don't even know the product. And there's a cap on what percentage. I say, screw all that. I say, find people yourself. If you have $500, there is somebody in a quote unquote third world country, but there's somebody who could take that money and blow out their business, and you could be their business partner, right? So this is I people always say, Paul, do you really co-own a nursery bean farm in Jamaica? I do. Here's my partner, Dorette Houghton, right? We've been killing it for 2 years. Last but not least, investing in stocks. That's it, guys. I'm going to talk about stocks on Friday. I have a full panel to talk about how you could use $500 or less and buy stocks. You could buy Bitcoin. You could do private placements. We're going to talk all about that on Friday. So join me, guys. I know we've gone long, an hour and 45 minutes. If you want the full recap for today's session, go to paulcbrunson.com/better. Join the newsletter. I'll hit everybody with this. Here's the thing. Remember, guys, remember, I'm going to go because I got to respect the embassy in my call. But remember this, okay? Remember this. Let me put this on. Is first, how'd you like today? I like to take a temperature check. How did you like today? Was this helpful? Right? Was this helpful to you? Because I don't want to keep coming on here if this was not helpful. Honestly, I did 20 hours of research on this just for you, just to be helpful. So let me know if this was helpful. That's one. Secondly, if this is helpful, make sure that you share this out. Share this with everybody. We just went over technically 55, right? Sources of income ranging from things you could do today to make money to things you could do a month, 2 months, 3 months to generate super income. Share that with everybody in your community. Let's level up together. All right. Join me on Friday and we'll make it happen. I got to go talk about oxtail at the Jamaican embassy. I love you guys. Take care. Thank you. I see all the hand clap. I appreciate it. Real quick, I would shout everybody out, but I got to go, guys. Thank you very much. I love you all. Keep doing your thing. Together, we are stronger. We're going to get through all of this. We're going to be stronger. We're going to be better. Our businesses are going to be stronger. Our families are going to be stronger. I guarantee it. As long as you're putting in the work, I guarantee it. All right. I'm done. Peace, people. Jamaican Embassy, I'm sorry. I'm now 3 minutes late, but I'm logging in on the call. Bye-bye.